Oh, Teddy's available today. I'm so sorry, Teddy, we're not actually going to be seeing you. I kind of wish we were, but let's go to the food court.
Yo!
Actually, it's kind of cool gathering around here in winter with everyone in their warm outfits and the fox, you know. Do foxes, like, shed in warm months? I know my cat, like, sheds everywhere. But anyway. Those things are pretty expensive. You'd think that you'd either resell them or, leave them just in case. Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna go ahead and break that piece, because today, we're gonna fight the ultimate foe. One of them, at least.
Where you going? I haven't eaten anything yet.
Previously on the Midnight Channel. I'm mostly doing this for Compendium. Originally focused more on light, but now you focus quite a lot on, physical. And yep, that was successful. One theory says that he fled Japan entirely and started going by another name, Genghis Khan. And there we go. We now have every learned skill on every party member.
Stupid teenagers! You have no idea what kind of—
Your twisted logic is that of an immature, egotistic brat.
He refuses to acknowledge his own shortcomings and blames everyone but himself for his own misery.
I have come to put you all to the test and judge your worth.
Fits with him being the master of the Midnight Channel. He is the camera who is filming this TV show. And also the, oh, that's not a good combination. The Fog Bearer and the director of the Midnight Channel has been defeated. And now, oh, what are we gonna do? We have no material! Well, I guess there's that guy left homeless by the destruction of Tartarus who just hangs around in chests waiting to jump out and scare people now. Oh, we're getting cancelled anyway, what do we have to lose? Now today should be a day when the fox is in a good mood. And yes, we're going to be getting a costume a lot earlier than Hurricane Harlan's guide does, because I went before Nanako's dungeon. Yep, here is one of my favorite costumes in the game. It's actually not a catsuit. Oh, even kanji, wow. Well, we'll see how Chie looks in that eventually, but that is the last fox costume. Again, the days when the fox is in a good mood, or you can't know them without a guide, and yeah, one of our next chances is the very last day of interactivity in the game. But anyway, since I no longer need strength or sun personas, I might want to see if I can make anything out of these. I kind of doubt it, though. I could also see if, is there a forecast today? Supana, evade elec and bonus stats. Okay then, interesting. Loki and Aravaka. Wait a minute, can't I just pass down, like, Repel Elec at this point? I'm pretty sure I had that in, like, my skill pool. I like Niflheim, though. That is one of my biggest sources of damage right now. I could do that after I beat the opponent we're fighting here. Also, hi there. Yeah. And also, Metatron is here too. Oh, I can still register skill cards, except with Margaret. Dang it, yeah. Okay then. Right, so that information that I probably have already edited that out. Yep, that was false information. So that's good to know that we're not locked out of buying skill cards. Speaking of buying things though, money. You might want to save as much money as possible before the golden exclusive dungeon we'll be getting later on in this time. So, we're gonna go to the Eerie Bedroom, and here I can talk about something really, really interesting. So you know how every dungeon has different dialogue depending on whether it's the current deadline, if another deadline is active, or if there's no active deadline? Well, this is the dialogue for Adachi's dungeon when there's no deadline. This dialogue was in the original PS2 version. But there was no way to visit Adachi's dungeon in that situation, so this dialogue went unused. It is no longer unused in Golden, due to all of the extra time they added. So I have a lot of costumes to demo here. I have the midwinter outfits, I have the Christmas outfits, and I have that crazy, ridiculous armor for Naoto that I will probably also demo. And the female Gecko outfits, too. Okay, I'm actually gonna go with this party because Yosuke has special conversations with Chie and Naoto in the outfits that I've given each of them. So I'm gonna go to World 6 and farm around for... I need one Aura Calcum from the Solemn Machine. Didn't get any drop even though I fought several of them last time. And ho ho ho, Merry Apocalypsemas. Yeah, bit of a weird time to be using this, and yes, Yosuke's a reindeer. Most of the male party members are reindeer. But anyway, with this lighting, it's kind of hard to see Chie's outfit, but yeah, it is basically a Kill Bill costume. I think it's actually based on Bruce Lee's jumpsuit from, like, Game of Death or something. And so, welcome to Trial of the Dragon 5, Yosuke gets punted. Okay, and now, well, let's talk to Yosuke first. Yosuke has a lot of great comments on all of the costumes. Anyway, and yes, if I can see, yeah, Naoto basically wears, High Cut Armor 2, the High Cuttening. Yep. Yeah, by the way, this is the reward for Kashiwagi's request. And, she's running away and hiding behind the text box, as is fitting. I like our expression changes immediately after she realizes our outfit isn't nearly as insane. Definitely better than the reindeer costume, that's for sure. Suppose I should stop equipping the golf club. I just did that for thematic reasons. You know what, let's use the metal bat, why not? So yeah, here's Chie. It is still one of my favorite costumes for her. This is definitely not my favorite costume for Naoto, though. Okay, well that was her first time calling out a new persona. Kinda forgot that I have some new skills to demo. Yeah. Also, that armor exists. Oh, great. Well, that's one reason why I probably should have fused away Kusi earlier. You know what? I'm not likely to get anything good out of you. I'm gonna immediately dismiss that persona because otherwise it's gonna just annoy me. Oh, that's probably a solar machine.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't think I ever showed any of these on camera either.
It's weak to darkness. Go on, defeat it.
They're weak to both of Naoto's elements, so, yeah. And this thing, I think, nulls, yep, nulls both of them.
5 enemies left.
Doesn't have a lot of endurance, but it definitely makes up for that in other regards. Also, I just realized that we're Sansa carrying a metal baseball bat, and I'm not sure how to feel about that. Yeah, I may as well demo this. I was hoping she'd say that. The characters all have unique one-liners for their ultimate skills. And they'll always get a cut in for them. I guess I can Mamudo on everything. As I've said, Chiez it's ridiculously expensive, but it's decent. I kind of rather You know what? Let's demo her skill. Shield of Justice! I believe that ADSP is with the Chakra Ring. Yeah, you can't spam that. They make absolutely sure you can't spam that. But it's still a pretty solid skill, especially if you have a lot of SP replenishing items.
Go for it.
And because a lot of bosses like to telegraph their most dangerous moves. Okay, I do really like US Santa. I guess I can take that. I kind of want personas here because I'd like to try and fuse at least some things for the companion. Okay, we got an Orichalcum first try this time. Or, to quote Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, an Orichalcumalos. And that's actually everything we needed to do in Adachi's dungeon, so we can safely head out now. Our next port of call is Heaven. Okay, Belial, and either of these two gets me Baal Zabul, who I will definitely need later. I mean, you already naturally absorb ice, but I may as well take that anyway, and I guess I can take Oro Maraku. Weirdly, I kind of want Brave Blade. I thought for a second that was an accident. I was having trouble mashing through the dialogue. That scepter there is actually a weapon in some of the Persona games you get from itemizing Beelzebub. I believe it's Shinjiro's ultimate weapon in both Persona Q and Persona 3. Maziodyne. Mudor Boost. I don't really need Tentarafu, I guess. I'm keeping Old One just because, you know, it's Old Man attack. I just noticed those veins at the side of him. That's actually kind of disturbing. Stagnant Air, and I might as well teach you that because it's your skill card. We will now immediately get rid of Mudor Boost. Beelzebub has very easy access to that. Okay, so I believe that was actually the last component that we needed to make Beelzebub, but actually doing that would require a lot of money. Yeah, holy crap, especially since it requires Belial, who, my one's quite expensive. Okay, Uriel and Garuda confused to make Seth, who I want to make via fusion so that he maybe gets Null Light. And I can get both of them by shuffle time in Heaven, I think. So, let's see who we bring here. We're gonna swap out our party this time and go for, I guess, let's go for... Oh, also the dialogue here is kind of nice, for not having a deadline. Guess I didn't use you, so let's swap you into the party. I didn't use Kanji before. Okay, we got the Christmas costumes ready. Let's farm some bloody hides. At least it's better than Final Fantasy XII, where you can actually steal them off of the enemy while they're still alive. Anyway, yep, Yukiko is rocking your typical sexy Sansa outfit, quote unquote. So, when did sexy Santa outfits become a thing? Because I find it kind of weird. And Yukiko clearly does too. Oh no, I have a feeling I know exactly what kind of other presents Teddy wants. I remember Kanji having a pretty good reaction to the reindeer outfit. Okay, Kanji should make, scarves for everyone here now. I think the bell on Teddy I think, since Teddy's already a mascot, he really suits this reindeer outfit. Ah yes, the red nose. I've already talked at length about my thoughts on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Maybe you need like a super long scarf that Kanji could possibly knit. Anyway, I keep forgetting to talk to Rise about the outfits. Probably should get her comment on the Santa costume. Yeah, I guess that could be interesting. Now, what is your reaction to this? Okay, that sounds really weird. Let's get out of that costume now. Oh wow, the coat's totally different from the midwinter outfit. Guess I can get Rise's comment on this one. Now, I really want to wear this outfit into battle because, as I was saying, this has a really cool victory pose. Okay, so if you tap the L1 button, you can very quickly get to the materials section. Oh, great, I already sold those to Daidara. So, like, they'll still count, I just don't have a way of tracking exactly how many more I need right now. I think I had 4. I might as well get, like, 5 or 6 just in case. Well, I suppose I can show this.
This is how a man does it.
In a reindeer suit.
Just say the word and it's go time. It's
Okay, that was way better than I expected it to be. It doesn't normally make everything dizzy. And I don't usually see it knock down everything in the battle. That thing's weak to fire too. That's another great line. We'll be seeing that a lot from now on. And Teddy does not have his ultimate skill yet. But I guess I can finish this off with you. If he actually gets a turn. Wow, he's just not getting turns at all, is he? Let's see if I can finish you. I want Yoshitsune to get the experience because Hustle Tobi. Okay, Rise's text box covered a little bit, but that is so cool, like the way he levitates a tarot card in the air. Definitely one of my favorite costume-specific victory poses.
You can win this.
Does this work on hands?
name's Kanji Tatsumi.
It actually can, although it doesn't always.
Here goes Persona!
Are you serious? I just got both of the Shuffle Time personas that I wanted out of the same fight. And another Shuffle Time persona. Okay then, that was definitely worth picking a tower card for. And one step closer to Hustle Tobi. Yeah, Yoshitsune's agility gets very high very quickly. I've seen him with 99 agility by the end of the game. I even maxed out his strength once. Oh, and in that, I didn't even notice how many bloody hides I got. 2. Ugh. Oh, I was hoping it would be you.
Kanji defeated 2 enemies. Go team!
Actually, that's a quote that I haven't heard Rise say before, so that's good for hardcore Rosette fan. And also, yeah, I had a feeling Yukiko would be imitating Mitsuru's victory poses, but that just confirmed it. So how many bloody highs did I get off of that? 3, okay, that's 5 more. I don't want to be leveling too much here, because the Golden Exclusive Dungeon, its boss is only level 77. It's not that much higher than Amonosagiri. Okay, so Uriel and Garuda. Now, is this going to get me to level 72 for Null Light? Probably will, actually. Wow, those are some crappy skills to pass down. I probably should have saved, I just realized. Nope, no accident. Not entirely sure why Seth looks like this, also I'm not really sure why he's called Seth. It's actually supposed to represent the Egyptian god Set. But in his first appearance in Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei 2, Set was, slash Seth was just like a big green snake. Yep, there we go, there's Null Light. That's why I wanted you, because that is the best way for Beelzebub to get rid of his weakness. Also, Wind Amp, that's not bad. So with that and Baal Zabul, I still need quite a lot of other personas. Okay, you know what? I think I'll actually go for this. I want to fuse a very special persona at this part. Beelzebub time! And yes, so many possible inherited skills, so little slots. So you already naturally have, yeah, a ton of immunity, so all I really want is Null Light. I don't need any of these, because you already naturally, are immune to those, but Repel Physical's good. Spellmaster, I guess. Okay, either go for Fire Amp or Quad Elements. There's no Amp here, but this does make you a great, just all-round persona for... Yeah, am I sure I have no way of nulling Wind here? Unfortunately, no. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of having Beelzebub for just regular encounters. I can hit any weakness besides... I can probably hit dark weaknesses as well. And so the Lord of the Flies shall rise. In the anime, Yu summons this thing against Shadow Naoto. And he's so powerful that he not only completely obliterates her in one hit, he also blows up the entire dungeon. He actually does have, like, the right personas on hand to summon it, too. He uses Mott in that episode, I think, and, I think a few are, and, well, Abaddon, but Abaddon's not part of this combination. Kinda like the way that Beelzebub's skull necklace looks in this artwork. Oh, that's your skill card. But all of these are just... Oh, but Primal Force is... Okay, I guess I'll have to use other personas for Mind Charge. I have Trumpeter with Mind Charge. So yeah, I'm not going to pass that up, because Primal Force is one of the strongest single-target skills in the game, so I'd be a fool to reject its skill card. I'm also kind of a fool to reject this, but my skills are already full as it is. Endure Light. That's cute. Mudo boost when I already deleted Mudo. I mean, normally I'd love that, but yeah. And also Megadolon, which I don't really need on this setup. But yeah, we have an almost invincible Beelzebub. I probably could have found some way to get wind nullification on it somehow, but overall stats are not that amazing for your level though, but still, pretty good persona I feel overall. We're gonna head to Yu-Gi-Oh's castle because we're off to fight the Reaper, the wonderful Reaper of Death. And in order to do this, we're gonna do something kind of interesting. So, I mentioned this in Adachi's dungeon, but as we're actually gonna be fighting the Reaper this time, I'll go over it again a little bit. So, the Reaper has a chance of spawning every 20 chests that you open. When you open 20 chests, you'll hear chains. Once you hear these chains, then the next chest you open that has a shadow in it will be the Reaper. But if you open a chest that does not have a shadow, or you go to a different floor or leave the dungeon, the chains disappear, and the Reaper counter resets. Now there's no way of knowing how close you are to the chains or not until you hear them, but the reason why I'm going through Yu-Gi-Oh's castle is, well, two reasons. I'm going to be opening every chest I see, just in case I end up getting chains. If it turns out my chain count is quite high, then I'll be saving and reloading, and then just repeatedly opening chests until I get it. But if it's not, by the time I reach the 5th floor, then I'll be making a save with the 5th floor checkpointed via a Goho M. And I'll be going back and forth to the 5th floor until I get the Reaper. Okay, yeah, that's the kind of thing that would normally give you the Reaper if you were hearing chains.
That enemy. Now's your chance. Run!
Actually, I should probably fight a lot of these enemies because I don't think I've heard a lot of Risei's very weak enemy navigator lines.
That enemy's weak to ice. Cool it down.
Or I haven't really heard many of these lines either.
It's weak to wind. This'll be a breeze. Go for it, guys. Head there.
Hey, baby, did you see that?
Okay, that's a new quote apparently. So, which baby was he talking to? Because if he was talking to Risei, then Yu Narukami would have some very stern words for him. No chains yet.
Ooh, really nice. Don't let it get away.
Okay, floor 5. Let's leave and save. The reason why we're using floor 5 for this is it's a fixed floor, and it always spawns exactly 2 chests. That way, if the first chest triggers the chain sound, you know the second chest has a chance of being the Reaper, and if you've got a save at that point, you can just keep reloading until the second chest is the Reaper. And if you open both of them and neither trigger the chain sound, yep, that's the chains. Okay, so, wow, that was actually very convenient timing. I happened to save at exactly the right point. So yeah, now I know that if I reload this save, the first chest will always trigger the chains, and the second will have a chance of spawning the Reaper. What I was going to say is, if neither of them trigger the chains, then you just leave again and repeat the process until... If the second one triggers the chains, though, that's when you have a problem, because there are no more chests left on the floor. But, anyway... Wow, okay, I got very lucky that time. Yeah, this one happened to be the Reaper. So remember when I said that you couldn't really fight the Reaper unless you were intentionally trying? Well, this is why. Yeah, sure, let's open it. Doesn't sound dangerous at all. But even if you say yes, Risei will then give you a second prompt, or Teddy if you're earlier in the game, because you can encounter the Reaper earlier. If you don't heed the second warning though, you face him.
This thing feels really bad.
Okay, we have unique dialogue from Risei for the Reaper at least.
Darkness so use something else.
We have its full affinities thanks to complete analysis, but no skills. Obviously, its Arcana is Death, and in fact, it's the only Death Arcana regular Shadow in, well, it's much more than regular Shadow, but you get the idea, in the series. So, the Reaper has basically everything. Strong physical, strong magic, mind charge, almighty, instant death, even life drain and spirit drain. It also has somewhat decent AI, and it kinda likes to target weaknesses, and it usually responds to Makarakan by spamming Megadolon. But other than that, really the Reaper is mostly just a case of hit it until it dies, don't die yourself. It's pretty straightforward, and if you're underleveled, it will probably instantly destroy you, but if you are higher level, it's actually not that bad. It does get 2 actions per turn though, which is quite annoying when it comes to buffs and debuffs, because its debuff counter runs out for every action it takes, so Debilitate doesn't last on it very long. And I'm on Trumpeter because of Debilitate and also Mind Charge and no weaknesses. Let's Debilitate it anyway. I wonder if it knows that I have Invincible Trumpeter and will try and use Megadolon. But yeah, overall I kind of feel like buffs on you are probably a little bit better than debuffs on it, just because of the timers. And I have a feeling it's immune to that, but I don't want to waste my turns trying.
Here goes. Persona!
And yes, we are defeating the Reaper as Kanji Munro, hopefully. Yeah, it also really likes to break your immunities. Okay, then I like how the gun sound effect still went on even after the gun stopped firing. But yeah, really likes to break your immunities, and it often wastes a lot of its time doing that if you have a lot of immunity, so that's another thing that makes the Reaper maybe not exactly the toughest thing ever. I feel like the Reaper's probably at its most difficult in Persona 3, but even then, it's still not that bad, I find, in that game. If you're a higher level, of course. If you're low level, it will completely obliterate you. Speaking of which, I tried firing this thing early in a New Game Plus once, and it did 2,000 damage to Teddy in one hit. So, like, it's pretty strong, but again, if you're high level, you don't really need to worry about it that much.
Lay down and die already!
Oh, nice move.
But yeah, it does like to go for your weaknesses. And I guess if at first you don't succeed, try again. But Yosuke has very good evasion, so obviously things worked out in that regard. Let's debilitate it again, even though it won't last for much longer. Now, I hope this fight actually goes on long enough for me to really go into. I had a few other tangents that I want to talk about here, mostly like voted by popular demand by viewers. I asked people what topics they like me to talk about, and one of them that I thought was interesting is why I think the Persona 4 anime works. So, the reason for that is, it's actually what I feel is a weakness of the game itself, the pacing. Persona 4 has a lot of moments in the plot where not a lot happens for large stretches of time. The parts of the plot where things do happen are usually amazing. I love the Nanako and Adachi arcs. I love the, oh great, he got one more finally. But I have a lot of eggplants and homunculi, so that's fine. And I love the original arc, but...
Damn it! Who do they think they are?
Death itself. But in between, there are pretty large gaps, and for that reason, I actually find that the anime does a pretty good job of... I probably should have switched to Loki and used Niflheim, but oh well. The anime condensing things down to 26 episodes actually works in its favor. You skip a lot of that filler time, and you just get the, like, either the significant comedy scenes, like the, camping trip and the school festival, or the dungeons. And the way they handle all of the social links is pretty good too. Like, you get to see at least some of every social link, for the most part. They show Yu Narukami obtaining all of the, Arcana. Huh.
Just say the word
I didn't
and it's
actually
go
know you could
time.
crit this guy.
Bring it on!
Didn't Kanji crit another boss that I didn't think you could crit? Shadow Risei? Wow, yeah, all out attacks suck in P4. If that wasn't proof, then nothing is. Okay, I still have Risei's full party shield. Or it could just miss everyone. That's good too.
Here goes. Persona. Someone else's turn.
Okay, that affinity reverting is obviously a good thing. I don't even have Hustle Toby on Yoshitsune, I just realized. But I suppose I could go for a physical attack here. Yeah, I might not even have the chance to fully talk about this. I really wanted to. But yeah, by contrast, the Persona 5 anime, maybe now's a good time for a heal. That game's plot is a lot more consistently paced. The story is kind of constantly chugging forward in that game. And it's kind of a downside for the anime because they've got a lot more to adapt into the same number of episodes. And I remember looking up the list of Persona 5 anime episodes and thinking, holy crap, they're at like episode 24 already, and they've still got like 3 whole dungeon arcs left to go. It's, yeah, a weird case of the game's better pace, but it means it's bad for the anime's pacing. Whereas P4's anime condensing things down really lets them take advantage of the fact that the game itself is kind of awkwardly paced. Though I do think the other reason why the Persona 4 anime works is just Yu Narukami. The personality they gave him is so hilarious. It's just one of the funniest anime protagonists I've ever seen. They go with all of the weirder dialogue options from the game. Nice victory quote there. And yes, he gives you exactly 13 yen. But yes, we get a trophy for that. The Reaper becomes the Reaped, and we also obtain, separate from any actual item drops, Blade of Totsuka. This is Yu Narukami, as I was just talking about him, Yu Narukami's ultimate weapon. Very massive power. It's basically the equivalent of like a Vorpal Blade as a single attack, and critical rate up high. And here's what it looks like. Which is pretty cool. So, beating the Reaper will give you the ultimate weapon for one member who is currently in the party. If all 4 currently active party members have their ultimate weapons, he instead drops the ultimate armor. If all 4 currently active party members have their ultimate weapons and ultimate armor, he'll drop the Omnipotent Orb, an accessory that makes you immune to everything except Almighty. Don't use this against the Super Boss, because they will instantly kill you for doing it, as is tradition in Persona games.
None shall escape.
I'll get strong too. All right, I leveled up.
My skills have been honed.
Power up.
It's level up time.
Okay, that caught up pretty much everyone with the average level of the party, and gave me a ton of money in the bargain. Here I'm just gonna hunt for a few more bloody hides, just in case. I probably have enough, but I just want to be absolutely sure. Because they had to do with a Kashiwaki request, and it's quite easy to miss those. She has quite a few of them towards the end of the game, and I know in my first playthrough I definitely missed one. So, yeah, overall, those are the reasons why I feel like the Persona 4... If I had any major criticisms of the P4 anime, the main one is that I just really don't think the hot spring scene should have been its own episode. That's like the one episode of the show that I'd call outright bad, mostly just because it's based on a scene in the game that isn't really that good anyway, but... They spend the whole episode on it, it's just, And it came right after the school festival, too. They could have easily devoted the episode to being half school festival, half hot spring. But no, they had to have 2 filler episodes in a row. And that leads me to my second main complaint about the anime, and that is that the second half has a lot more filler than the first half. In the first 12 episodes, there are only 2 that are really filler. Episode 5, which centers on the moon and strength social links, and episode 8, which is the camping trip. But even then, during the camping trip, they still have some plot. They move the exposition from the investigation after Kanji's dungeon to there, and they also have Naoki's social link, so it's a lot better than the camping trip from the game.
There's 3 enemies. They're totally open.
Okay, finally.
No problem. It'll be
And now we know for a fact that you guys have no weaknesses. But yeah, the second half of the anime, meanwhile, there's a very long stretch of episodes where the Naruto's Dungeon 2-parter is the only, like, non-filler episode. And to be fair, some of the filler episodes within that segment are really good, like, for example, the 2 Summer Vacation ones. But it is still kind of a bit weird for the pacing. It's like they kind of shove most of the filler in the second half, like, again, this is more just due to the game itself and the way it's structured. You've got scenes that are more, you know, comedy-based and less plot-relevant, like the school festival and the hot spring scene, that all happen during that half of the game, but still, it is kind of a bit weird. So that is one slight issue that I have with the overall pacing of the anime. I feel like I've seen this combination before, but have we talked to Kanji? I don't think we've seen this conversation before. The Fox is like, no, the only one who's allowed to merchandise me is me. Well, I get the feeling this is a really good item. Here it is. Yep, I thought so. Fully heals. We have access to Naoto's Max Social Link item now too. She gives you something that fully restores SP, which is kind of amazing. So the other thing that I was asked about is, if there was to be a remaster of Persona 3, hypothetically, what would I change? And really it's just three hopes I would have for that. One, platonic roots, obviously. I don't know if there's a way they could change things so that the whole party are social links for both the male and female protagonists, because they couldn't just port them over, since Junpei's social link, for example, with the female protagonist is very heavily rooted in her being female, so, like, yeah, there's not really, they couldn't, like, again, they couldn't directly port it over, so that would require rewriting. But it would be kind of cool if they could do that. It would also mean that Nozomi would no longer be a social link, and that would probably be a good thing for everyone. So, 2 is, do not mess with the ending, because I would not want them to do anything, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but anyone who knows Persona 3 and how it ends, they probably know what I'm referring to. I just would say, don't add in anything new that messes with that ending. I would really like that kept as it is. And 3, cut down the number of floors in Tartarus, while also giving each of the full moon shadows its own mini Persona 5 styled fixed dungeon. They already kind of have mini dungeons anyway, but they're all kind of boring and are just filled with weak enemies and you can't even save in them anyway. So that is something that I would kind of like to see, because all of the floors in Tartarus, it's a little bit redundant.
Now's your chance.
There's just way too much, and you could easily halve the total floor count without really changing much about how the place feels or works from a gameplay standpoint. Meanwhile, I do feel like the full moon shadows need a little bit more to them than what they currently have going for them. And overall, that's really all there is that I would change about that. Another thing that I got asked was, has my opinion on Persona 3 changed like my opinion on Persona 4 has? And honestly, I can't. I know this is not really the answer that you've been looking for, but I can't really answer that question because it's been ages since I played Persona 3. I think, like, the last time I even touched that game was when I recorded, like, the end of that playthrough, so I would need to play it again in order to see if any of my opinions have changed.
I did it! We won!
Only one bloody hide. For some reason, Trumpeter's leveling up a lot at the point where I don't really need him to. So yeah, sorry about that, but I am really not sure. Later on, though, I will definitely talk at length about how my opinions on Persona 4 have changed over the years. 9, yeah, I have way more than enough. I'm sure that all of the ones we gave to Daidara before count anyway, but I wanted to make absolutely certain We need to sell 8 of them, and speaking of selling and buying, I need more Goho M's. But yeah, maybe if I do replay that game one day, on my own time obviously, I could talk about how my opinions on it have changed, because they probably have, honestly. But yeah, with all of that, we've got the items we need, we have a little bit of money, still not enough for maid outfits though. Okay, before we leave, since I'm not going to be able to afford the maid outfits anyway, I might as well use a bit of this money on just completing the compendium a little bit more. I found out I have exactly 80% of the compendium right now, but if I go into search, I can make Ishtar via Trumpeter and Odin. I'm not really using Odin much at this point, and I can buy back Trumpeter, and I've made sure to register him, by the way, because with this combination, I can get Absorb Physical, Repel, Absorb, although she would have learned that naturally anyway, but this makes Ishtar immune to everything except instant death, which I can cover with Homunculi, so that's not bad. So we can tick off another ultimate persona, unless this is an accident. No, it wasn't. What power she can offer is mostly healing, and a lot of luck, which I think affects crit rate, but she doesn't really learn much in the way of physical attacks, and I think as a healing inheritance type, I think that might even stop her from inheriting physical attacks entirely. Amrita's kind of okay to have on hand, at least. It's totally better than Mutudi. Mutudi? I'm not really sure how you're supposed to say that. And hey, another persona with Spellmaster is always nice to have, too, but... Okay, I guess I can kind of make you a pure healing persona, because I just really want Spellmaster. And no salvation. At least not yet. Okay, so definitely gonna go ahead and buy back Trump. I can get Skahavo. Ishtar, Yoshitsune. I want to keep Yoshitsune, though, right now, for kind of obvious reasons. With Ishtar and Trumpeter, who I'll have to buy back again, I can get Zhao Gongen. That might actually be a decent option, too. Though I probably won't be able to pass down all of my, well, I won't even need to pass down Repel Fire, because you naturally repel that. So I can go for, Absorb, Repel, Absorb, and these are both really good. Weirdly, I am going to have to go with Amrita, because I have full healing and revival on Teddy and Yukiko. If this is an accident, I will embrace it. It was not. Okay then. So, one more ultimate. I think Zhao Gongen is supposed to have a tiger hide belt in mythology, but here it just has a weird metal face belt. Oh look, evade physical, like I need that. Enduring Soul is pretty great though. Is that the first time we're getting this? Maybe. Okay then, what do I get rid of for that is the thing, because I have way too many good... Well, actually, I know what I'm getting rid of, because Anima Freeze is terrible. Fire Amp. That could be good to pass down to some other things, honestly. Because I have Power Charge on Yoshitsune, but I don't have God's Hand on anything else, and I kind of... This seems kind of dumb, but I'm going to go with this. And not at your skill card, but Gazing Out to Sea will get you that. Then I'll have to delete another skill. We've beaten the Reaper, we've got Yu Narukami's ultimate weapon, so I think that's it for this TV session. We might come back here though before the end of the game, because there's going to be a lot of free time, and I definitely want to save up a bit more money. So this may not be the end, but for now, I will see you all back in the real world.